Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. Believe me, today's editorial is not a very cheerful one. I want to speak about the Indian middle class, as I always do. I want to speak about the fate of MSMEs in India. Rajiv Tomar and Pooja Tomar, husband and wife from Baraut, Uttar Pradesh, attempted suicide. Reports say that Pooja Tomar has lost her life and Rajiv is fighting for his. He is in critical condition. The reason they committed suicide is because of the losses. The losses because of the GST, the burden of GST on them. I'm going to talk about them, and that's my topic number one. My topic number two is, are we using Parliament as a platform for election campaign? Is that what it is now? Let's get right into the show. I think I have the freedom to speak. I will pay the debt that I have. Even if I die, I will pay. But I request everyone to please share this video as much as possible. I am not an anti-national, but I want to tell Modi ji, you are not a well-wisher of small traders and farmers. Change your policy. This is what Rajiv Tomar had to say before he consumed poison. This is what he said on his live Facebook page. He committed suicide. He was committing suicide because of heavy loss in trade due to implementation of GST. He couldn't handle GST. And you know what? A lot of us who runs MSMEs cannot handle GST, cannot handle the laws of GST, the draconian laws, some of the draconian laws of GST. And that's a fact. Okay, let's get a little more into data as we usually do. Now let me talk to you about NCRB report. All these while we were talking about farmer suicide. Farmer suicide continues. It is not that anything is different now. But now let me talk about a new aspect. NCRB report dated November 8th says that in the year 2020 of pandemic-induced economic distress, suicide among tradesmen increased by 50%. The highest across categories compared to 2019. Even as the broader business community recorded more such death than farmers. Business community now started committing suicide. The broader business community now records more suicides than the farmers. Let me go further. According to the latest data from the National Crime Record Bureau, that is NCRB, as many as 11,716 businessmen died by suicide in 2020, compared to 10,677 farmers in the same year. Of this, over 11,000 deaths, 4,356 were that of tradesmen and 4,226 were that of vendors, small businesses, MSMEs, with the rest being accounted for as category of other businesses. This was NCRB report November 8, 2020. Now let's talk about February 9th, 2022. Center on Wednesday, that is today, informed the Rajya Sabha that over 25,000 people died by suicide in India due to either unemployment or indebtedness between 2018 and 2020. 25,000 people committed suicide because they were under debt, they were under loans, or they were unemployed. This is the status of our economy. This is the status of our country. just to show that our GST collection, our tax collection has increased 100%, 200%, 300%. We extort people, we extort money from people, we extort money from small traders, small businessmen, and these small businessmen are desperate because they don't have a choice but to pay the government the money they ask. What choice do we have? What choice do we have? If we say something against the government, you get notices. If you are a small businessman, you still get notices asking you to pay taxes, pay GST. Where is this going to end? Why do you think there is so much amount of disillusionment, so much amount of dissatisfaction amongst the MSMEs and the small traders? Why do you think it's happening? It can't be all politics, can it? Or like this gentleman said that I am not an anti-national, but I still think what Modi ji is doing is not correct. His policies are not good for farmers and small traders. If these are not anti-national people who talk against the tax terrorism which is happening, or the kind of the way the tax is extorted from people, I think they are not anti-nationals. They are regular people, they are regular traders, they are desperate. And this desperation is seen all over the country. I repeat what I say always. It is not the big companies that give you job. They are these small companies, these MSMEs that give maximum amount of jobs. Agricultural industry and MSMEs give you bulk of the jobs, and unfortunately agriculture industry and MSMEs are the two industries which are absolutely into shambles, which are absolutely in trouble. And that's the problem. That's the problem. And that's the problem the government needs to understand. That's the problem the Prime Minister needs to understand. And that's the problem the Finance Minister needs to address. I have taken you through figures. Like we talk about farmers, very soon we are going to talk about traders. This is a warning. This is a warning. What happened to our farmers and what is happening to our farmers is now going to happen to our traders and small businessmen, unless and until there is intervention and unless and until there is correction. Wait and watch. I was wondering why our Prime Minister was talking about Congress yesterday. And talking about the fact that Maharashtra, that is Mumbai, pushed people away to Uttar Pradesh and Bihar so that they could spread corona.
सब कांग्रेस के लोगों ने क्या किया? मुंबई के रेलवे स्टेशन पर खड़े रह करके मुंबई छोड़कर जाने के लिए प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए मुंबई में श्रमिकों को टिकट दिया गया, मुफ्त में टिकट दिया गया, लोगों को प्रेरित किया गया कि जाओ महाराष्ट्र में हमारे पर जो बोझ है वो जरा कम हो, और जाओ तुम उत्तर प्रदेश के हो, तुम बिहार के हो, जाओ वहां कोरोना फैलाओ। आपने ये बहुत बड़ा पाप किया।
I was wondering why is constantly the Prime Minister talking about Congress. I'll tell you, as far as Delhi is concerned, Congress didn't exist because it's up. And as far as Maharashtra is concerned, Congress doesn't have much role to play in Maharashtra. Congress is the smallest party in the Mahavikas Aghadi trio. The Mahavikas Aghadi is led by Shiva Sena, Uddhav Thackeray. The number 2 is Sharad Pawar's NCP. And somewhere number 3 is Congress. So, why was the Prime Minister trying to blame Congress? I didn't understand the logic. I was wondering, why would he do that? He's a smart man. And then I realized that Bharatiya Janata Party is competing with Congress in Uttaranchal. Bharatiya Janata Party is competing with Congress in Punjab. Bharatiya Janata Party is competing with Congress in Goa. That is when I realized that maybe that's why the Prime Minister is on the floor of the House in the Parliament continuously talking about Congress. There is no relevance of Congress talking about migrant laborers pushing migrant laborers out of Maharashtra. Maharashtra, and I'm sure a lot of other states. I talk about Maharashtra, I belong to Maharashtra. Maharashtra as a state and as people, we are not people to push our guests or people who stay in Maharashtra out. Mumbai is not a city that pushes people out. In fact, Mumbai is possibly one of the most welcoming cities in this country. So I was wondering, why would the Prime Minister say that? And then I realized possibly that was not a speech meant for the parliament, that was speech meant for Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Goa and others. It was possibly a political speech. And then it all made sense. The Prime Minister says that, the Congress and the opposition parties pushed people away to spread corona and all that. I realized it was not a statesman-like speech which is normally done in a parliament, in the floor of the house, but it was a political speech. And that is shocking. My question tonight is, can we use parliament as a political platform? And what is more unfortunate is that, look at it. The time spent in the parliament per bill has reduced. The time spent in the parliament for converting a bill into an act reduced. The number of bills going to parliamentary committee reduced. The content in a budget reduced, almost reduced to nothing. Railway budget gone. The parliament is not used to create laws anymore. Literally. The parliament is now used to propagate their political messages probably. It is not used to create laws, which is very saddening and which I think the country should be aware of. That's what I wanted to tell you tonight. And before I end my show, please subscribe to our channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube page. If possible, get into one of our subscription models, get into one of our subscription packages. Subscribe to us. Your money is very important for us to survive. And that's that. Till I see you next time. Namaskar.